So this is unlike some of my other videos, but it's gonna be talking about my raspberry garden that I planted this season. And like everything else, I promote work-life balance. So this is more of the gardening, enjoying your environment type thing. But I have never seen anyone on YouTube make or attempt to do raspberries like this. So this is what I'm doing. I mean, it's a lot tighter of a bed than what most people would recommend for it. But the whole idea is I get these dead sticks from across the street in the woods, and then I use some, you can't see it right there, I'll find a more clear example right there. Use some butcher twine, and you kind of create this wall of sticks, and then you weave the raspberry bushes through and you tie them up. And the whole idea of this is hopefully this season or next season I'll be able to walk down the middle and just gonna be two absolutely massive walls of raspberries, or the whole thing's gonna look overgrown and be an epic fail, which I am prepared for. But right here, these are some absolutely massive, I mean that's my finger, not small, absolutely massive raspberry bushes, and I'm seeing how they do on sticks. I mean, this one is dead. I just transplanted them about a week and a half ago. That vine might come back, but its other one is doing quite well. And I do have these massive sticks buried in the ground, so we can see if I need to put up twine between the two of them. But as of now, it is going quite well. I just have them tied up for support, and we're gonna see if we can do a massive wall. So in order to do this, what I've been using is just some good old, I don't know, shears, big ass shears. And then I've been going across the street into the woods over there, trying to like reduce, reuse, recycle, just be more green and think about the environment. So I'm finding recently fallen trees and dead trees that are not too dried out, and I'm using that instead of going to the wood, going to Home Depot and buying stuff there. Also, I like the natural look of it, but the steps to do this, which you're also going to need, unless you just want to drive the branches in by hand, is this giant, I think it's called a breaker bar, but you basically just shove it in and you move it around like that. I've already made a spot for it right here, so we got quite the deep little hole. Put this guy all the way in. It's about, I'd say, a foot down, and has a nice branch that runs all the way over here and just looks quite good. And then I'm going to keep doing this like I did on this side all the way down and just weave the raspberries together. And I think it's only going to be like, I've only had to spend like 10 minutes a week weaving the newer vines, the longer vines, just trying to make sure that they don't touch the ground and then branch into other sections. Because back here is a much older raspberry patch I did, and when I did this one I didn't really know what or how to do raspberries, so I just got a bunch of vines, tossed them in the ground, and then proceeded to take the really long vines and then put them back in the ground, so it kind of like looped and looped. But we got this right here, and again, reusing, this is a dead piece of wood buried about 3 feet down the ground. It's not going anywhere, and I might switch this out for something else, but right now I'm just using butcher twine. I don't know what it is really, but it's just twine. I have the branches strung up, and this alone produces a decent amount of raspberries, but it's a pain in the butt getting in to these deeper back rows, and we were having issues with it trying to climb into the fence and just escape out. So hopefully this works well. I might come back. Another idea I had was just like putting a wall of branches, or even like a chain link fence, or maybe you can always use cattle panel, which is like this thick mesh. It's like 4-inch, 5-inch spacing, but it's like 18 gauge wire, or maybe thicker than that, but it's decently good. And we're just gonna, we could put a giant one up kind of like in here and then weave the branches into that. And we just come back here. We got the chickens. My friend did suggest like planting bushes along the side here and kind of weaving them in to the chicken mesh, but the only thing I don't like about that is these little guys kick up some dust, and I don't want to get like chicken poop dust and chicken dust on my raspberries, even though I am going to be washing them. And then the other thing is they're going to eat some of the plants and probably eat most of the vines, because they love eating stuff. And then we come over here, and this is my favorite part of the yard, but it's my that's my giant in-ground metal fire pit that I have covered. And that's an industrial shelving unit I found a company tossing out, and I put a scrap metal roof on it. So this whole thing is 100% reclaimed materials, which I'm very proud of. But reclaimed pallets from an industrial yard. Besides the spray paint, I had to get spray paint. The initial color is blue and orange and just looks horrible, so I did like a brownish green all the way around. And then, as you can tell, I had to sister up some of the 2x4s because they weren't quite long enough. So then we also have, someone was throwing out that sheeting, as you can tell, with some of the nail holes or screw holes being in the wrong position. But I love working with reclaimed free materials and trying to recycle what I can. So yeah, that's those are some of my projects going on right now, and I would just ask that you consider what you could be reusing, what materials you could be recycling, just to reduce waste, keep everything more natural, and keep the planet a little healthier. So if you made it this far in the video, like, share, and subscribe. So quick thing that I did forget to mention is using raspberries like this. It's kind of like a trellis or a lattice trellis type idea, and I was thinking about weaving some longer branches together, but I think what I have here is going to be sufficient. And some of the benefits of this are going to be a lot easier picking. There's no digging deep into the bushes. They're all kind of just flat up on the wall. And then also more sunlight for the raspberries and more air circulating through. So I wanted to quickly mention some of those benefits, because there is a reason behind why I'm doing this, not just because I didn't look up how far apart you should space raspberries and then didn't want to have to retransplant all of them 6 feet over. So I came up with this idea. There's more to the madness.